Infertility is such a big thing. Not being able to have a child is something that should be, or being able to have a child is something that should be natural. I mean, it is just natural. So when something unnatural is happening to you, it can be very painful. We are in a society that puts a lot of pressure on people to have children, but my show today really is not to wallow in self-pity of having a child or not having a child. It is to encourage yourself and to remind you again that, children do come from God. You did not commit any sin. You didn't do anything. No, it is not because of that abortion that God now is punishing you for not having a child. No, it is not because that person cursed you or this or that. No, there are many reasons why people cannot conceive. And believe it or not, there are unexplained reasons that even the doctor cannot explain. Your body just cannot have a child, But I will encourage you to keep trying. I would encourage you to seek different ways to have this child, but be working on yourself and be putting all your priority on the things that you have in your hand. You have your husband, you have your wife in your hand. You have your family in your hand. You have your job in your hand. You have your life in your hand. Focus on those things rather than focusing on having a child. Create contentment within yourself and the things that make you happy. Focus on those things. Don't pressurize yourself. Don't make anybody push you to go to Babalao. Don't make anybody push you to do something that is completely out of your beliefs. That is completely out of. Don't allow that happen. Be happy. Thank God and actually see the benefits of not having a child now. As for me, I always make a joke that because I travel a lot, I will just be carrying the child everywhere that I'm going. Until God gives me that child, I am going to enjoy the silence in my home. I will enjoy that there is no baby crying or pooping everywhere. I will enjoy that because when the child comes, I will be wiping poop, I will be cleaning diapers, and I do not mind. I will be in that chapter of my life and I will be happy. But for now, I am also happy at where I am. I choose to see that I can get to spend more time with my husband. I choose to see that I can take vacations. I choose to see that money is being spent on only me and my husband, not on me and 4 other children, paying tuition and everything. Do you understand? Now, to you, that may seem like it is a selfish type of mentality. Oh, okay, now, so then what do you expect me to do? I should sit down here and manufacture a child or clone a child? I can't do that. So since I cannot do that, I have decided to focus on my goals. And you know what? I am such a happy person now. About 2-3 years ago, that weight of infertility was on me. I mean, it was really, really on me. Yes, I would still go to baby ceremonies. I would still congratulate my friends and everything. But deep down on the inside of me, I was so sad and I was so pained. But that's not me anymore. We have a fertility doctor with us today. He is very, very well skilled, learned, and he is one of the finest fertility doctors in the country. And he would get to tell you more, and you would learn, and I'm sure that you would be satisfied. Stay tuned. I am with my guest, Dr. Maxwell. He is here today to talk to us on infertility. Infertility on the mind and how it affects your psyche, how it affects your body, and of course, how it affects the relationship and the marriage. Thank you so much for being here today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, doctor. So I've heard so much about you, and I know that you're very vast and competent in your field. This is a society where having a child is a must. Whether it is given to you by God, hook or crook, you must have a child. And so what happens when we find ourselves in a dilemma where our nature cannot give us a child, or our nature is not giving us a child? Because in my case, I am in my 8th year of marriage and we have tried to have children, and it has become very, very obvious. It's not that we didn't know this before, but of course with constant trying, IVFs and IUIs and all of that, we've been there, done that. We have found out that true, it is only God. It is only God that can give a child. So, can you please enlighten us about about our journey of the worry, the agitation, the fears, the complexity, both from in-laws, from the society, the pressures, and all of that, and even the God factor, if I may. Can you enlighten us about this whole field about infertility?
Infertility is a scourge, as far as I'm concerned, in this country. Unfortunately, people don't put too much emphasis on those that are struggling with infertility. Especially when we say the population is more than 200 million, then why will you bother about those that don't have?
Yeah.
Forgetting that those that don't have deserve to have. In fact, psychological problems will come in whether you like it or not, and there are myriad of them, from frustration to anger to anxiety to shock to grief, loss of confidence, loss of self-esteem. At a point, you lose control of. You feel that your destiny depends on you having a child.
Yes,
and
yes.
Africa, because of the pressure, can be so much. So everything you do at a particular point in time is to making sure that you have at least one child. The problems are not even. You still have more problems, like relationship problems with your spouse or partner.
There's so much more.
Then when you now come to in-laws, friends.
Finances.
Yes, friends will come in. There is an adage in Bini language that says that even an impotent man will come and be advising a couple that is trying to have children. You understand? So, you see, friends will come, they will come with very well-meaning pieces of advice, but most of the time they are ill-conceived, They are not the right thing. So you may even take such decisions because you feel that they are doing it out of
concern or
care.
care.
Concern, but they are not the right decision. So the problems are many. Infertile couples are more likely to interact socially with couples that are maybe a couple, the wife is pregnant, or naming ceremonies, birthdays. There's that tendency for you to withdraw,
to recluse,
to stay away. And it has also been found that they are also very likely to suffer some forms of depression. In fact, it has been said that those that are infertile, that have a history of depression, are more likely to suffer depression if the infertility problem is not solved. Then infertility also, the treatment itself can be
can be mind-boggling.
Apart from the fact that you can have some medication side effects in some people, then the money worries. Infertility treatment is not cheap. So some people that really worries them a lot, having to get the money available to go ahead with the treatment. It can be a serious problem for many people. Lack of sleep, like I mentioned earlier, marital conflicts. It's so much. It's so much. It's really a problem. We have to also address that part. And I must also say at this point that the truth is this: 50% of those seeking infertility treatment will not get it. If you have 100 people doing IVF, at the end of 10 years or 15 years, only 50 will succeed. What it simply means is that IVF is not rocket science. Whether you like
and medicine is still growing.
It's still growing. So at least you have 50 out of 100. That's some feat. Before now, you can't even get anything. So, but you see, you have to continue to try. The older you get, the less your chances. So if you need to get assisted conception done, you should start early so that your chances are better.
How do you feel when the IVF takes? when after that 2 weeks and then oh, you are pregnant. How does that make you feel?
It's a wonderful feeling, I must say. We are more like, okay, we are there to divulge any information, whether it's good or it's bad. When it's good, everybody is happy and we celebrate it when it's good. Then when it's not good as well, it's not a very good feeling. You just have to bring out all your counseling skills, try to tell the couple that, okay, it's not the end of the world. You can still have a shot at it. It doesn't mean that you can't have a baby, because the success rate for IVF is cumulative. If there is if there's a treatment failure, the chances of a second cycle succeeding is higher. That's how it works.
Okay, so
But
if there's a failure the first time, then the chances of the second one
is higher.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's something that has to be consistent.
Yes, it's cumulative. But the problems that we have here are money problems. Probably someone saved maybe your life savings, sold a plot of land or something, or borrowed money to even do a first cycle, and hoping fervently that it will work.
That it would take.
Then if it doesn't now work, it's like you are back to square one. You have to pay back all your debts before you now start looking for money to do another cycle. So it's not as easy as is being portrayed out there, but you should be very hopeful and positive. When you see your doctor will probably tell you, okay, these are your chances. The age is the single most important factor when you're going to use your own eggs. So we'll put everything on the table, the chances that you have, because some clients will come and say, doctor, what's the success rate? I think success rate should be individualized. You shouldn't just lump it, because someone at 49 will not have the same success rate with someone that is 40 or 39. So that's what I usually tell my clients when they come with that question. So until you come, we look at it holistically, and that's okay. These are your chances based on your age. If you had surgeries in the past, like fibroid operations, then there are some other things. Even sperm parameters also may contribute in a way. So we put everything together, and that's okay. These are the chances of you getting.
So pregnant. You just use that word there, which is sperm.
Yeah.
So I do know this, but I want you to let them know. Is every sperm loaded? Do people shoot blanks?
Of course, people shoot blanks. Not every sperm is loaded. Just as not all fingers are equal. Just as you have billionaires, you have millionaires, you have thousandaires, you have people that are living below poverty line. Likewise, sperm parameters, the distribution equality is not the same for everyone.
So that means that the issue is not always a woman.
Most definitely. In fact, the causes of infertility is split into two. 40% for the man, another 40% for the woman. Then the remaining 20% is unknown, and the combination of the male and female.
Okay.
But in this part of the world, we keep on harping on it that it is not only the
What do you think about surrogacy in this country, and is it something that we should not be ashamed to talk about? Because if I should ever do that, I wouldn't be ashamed to talk about it.
Yeah, but the country needs to get sophisticated socially to the extent that people can easily come out and say such things. Just like rape victims, HIV, like that. It's not always easy because of the stigma attached. Even for IVF, I know a lot of couples that will not want even their neighbor to know that they did IVF for the same reason. Because I've heard a lot of things, memes about IVF. The babies are not strong. They are not strong. They are not natural. And all that. And we've been dispelling those myths on a regular basis. Once there's a pregnancy, it's like any other pregnancy. But you see, people will still hear pieces of information from other sources, and they'll probably live with that and use that to taunt whoever that they know that went through that. So likewise, surrogacy may be a problem for people to come out at this time. Maybe with time we will grow into it,
and I hope
over
so.
time.
I really hope so.
And so it's a good thing to do Owambe, because the truth is that it is God that still gives children.
To completely take charge of the testimony, making everyone think that this all happened all naturally and it's such a miracle.
I don't think that's really, I think it's just about people are just happy with you, especially people that have seen you go through a lot before then, and now God has blessed you with kids.
So I guess no one is paying attention to the details, I guess. Yeah,
I'm sure friends and close friends will know the real truth, but I think they are not even thinking about it. They are thinking about the fact that blessing. Now you have kids. Yeah, your kids. You understand?
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that is just the whole essence.
I get it.
Because that really helps psychologically. You have all the money and nothing is coming in that direction, and God blesses you through someone else. Why not?
So as we wrap up, what would be the one advice that you would give to people who are struggling with infertility?
It's a very difficult piece of advice, but infertility is not what we pray for even your enemy to go through. Unfortunately, some people will have to go through it. You do the best you can. See a doctor, see your options, and hope for the very best. It's not an easy thing to go through, but...
And what if you never have a child?
Well, if you don't have control over it, what can you do? You probably have to live with it.
Okay.
Especially if there are no options.
What are some options?
Apart from surrogacy, adoption. Even adoption is not cheap. Yeah. Legal adoption is not cheap. It's not cheap. So you just have to live with it and hope for the very best, and live your life normally. The problem that people have is that they spend the whole of their lives pursuing that venture. And at the end of the day, you may probably succeed, but you have spent so much time doing that without doing anything else. Sometimes 10 to 20 years looking for a child. You're already in your late 50s and 60s, and you just realize that
there's no time.
There's no time. I can't do anything else. Okay, the baby is here now. So what next?
I know, right? Yeah. I know.
So just keep that at the back of your mind. Even though you may have such struggles, you should also, whatever life goals you have, you should continue pursuing them alongside.
Alongside. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming.
Pleasure. Thank you.
You will have to jump off a cliff just knowing that you will not crash.